Ain't it strange that you can love someone for so long and never know a thing? People change, but I never imagined that you were ever gonna be this way. You say you gotta get away from me. I guess that you're believing all the lies you're telling to your friends. Well, I don't wanna hold you back, my dear. Better make up your mind if you're gonna say
you don't know much about me,
no, you don't. If you believe that
you don't know much
about love, no, you don't. You've been deceived, yeah. You don't know much about me, no, you don't. But you try and lie, no, you won't. You've been deceived, yeah.
And welcome back to Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. Welcome back. I am Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, baby. This is my show. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. It's Cerveza time. Or Sapporo time in today's case. Friday, March 29th. Welcome back, everybody. Good Friday, which is one of the things we're going to be talking a little bit about today. It being the Easter holiday. So, like I said yesterday, watch out for those DUI checkpoints. I know, like I said, we don't really think of, Easter's being that big drinking holiday, there's St. Patrick's Day, New Year's, Easter. Okay, yeah, party. But the DUI checkpoints are being set up all over Los Angeles and probably amongst a bunch of other cities around out there. Maybe not in places like Missouri or Wichita, but you never know. Oh, my God. Let's see, what are we talking about today? Well, we're today's the meat of today's topic is, of course, Jon Hamm. That's the title. Meet Jon Hamm. M-E-A-T. Jon Hamm. But we'll be getting to him in a little while. I want to blow my load a little too quickly. Oh, I did it again. We are talking a little bit today about Easter. It being Good Friday and all, and yesterday was actually officially known as like Good Thursday, believe it or not, and of course Easter Sunday. And I'm going to lay a little knowledge on you, in case you're not familiar with the whole Easter deal here. I'm not going to get into it like I did with St. Patrick's Day, because let's face facts, Easter is not exactly, in my opinion, not one of your more fun holidays, unless. Even if you're really a religious person and you're going to go to mass, you're going to go to church services, you're doing whatever the fuck it is you're doing, it's not what you call a fun holiday. I mean, the secular part of it, the whole bunnies and chocolate and colored eggs, that part of it, that's really fun if you're a kid or if you have the mentality of a child like I do. I got my Easter basket together, man. I got eggs, I got dyes. I'm doing it. All right, and I've got a new video coming out for you guys this weekend, so look for that on Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff, the Facebook page there. Oh my God. Okay, what do we know about Easter? Okay, Easter is, according to the nice folks over at Wikipedia, Easter is a Christian festival and holiday celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ on the third day after his death by crucifixion at Calvary, as described by the New Testament. Now, the fact that I mentioned the word New Testament gives you another schism in religion in folks that believe in the Judeo-Christian God, mostly being that the Judeo don't believe the Christian version of this. Okay, Jews do believe, for the most part, that a man named Jesus did exist and believed that he was a rabbi, but by no means do they believe that he was the Son of God, he was the Christ, and they sure as shit don't want to take the heat for him getting crucified, if he was the, Son of God. So that's really the best way for Jews to separate themselves from that. It's like, hey, maybe we turned him in, but he really wasn't the Son of God, okay? All right, and that's a pretty valid argument. I don't have any issues there. Now, as described here, Easter is the culmination of the Passion of the Christ, preceded by Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. There go those Catholics having fun. The last week of Lent is called Holy Week, which we're in, which contains the day of the Easter Triduum, including Maundy, Thursday, also known as Holy Thursday, and commemorating the Last Supper, as as its preceding foot washing and Good Friday, commemorating the crucifixion and death of Jesus. Easter is followed by a 50-day period called the Eastertide, beginning with the Pentecost Sunday. Easter is a movable feast occurring between March 22nd and April 25th, so it could really happen any time in between there. And it is based on the Julian calendar, John 19:42. According to John 19:42, Good Friday happens on Friday because it is believed that Christ was crucified on a Friday. So not so much TGIF on that one, is there? Yeah, you just imagine Jesus on the cross and the two criminals next to him, and one of them just goes, "Hey, TGIF, fuck you!" For the last time, you stop saying TGIF, you dickhead. So that, my friends, is Easter. Why they do it in a nutshell. Now, chocolate bunnies and Easter eggs, and peeps, and Easter egg hunts, and to paraphrase the great late Bill Hicks, nothing teaches you more about the sacrifices of Jesus Christ and his death and resurrection and return to heaven like bunnies and chocolate and eggs. I've read the Bible, ladies and gentlemen. I have. I read it twice, as a matter of fact, and I didn't see the words chocolate or bunnies anywhere in there. Again, paraphrasing Bill Hicks. If you have never heard Bill Hicks, you guys out there, you know what? You are missing out on some of the greatest comedy ever. I mean, just smart, sharp, incisive, and just divisive. I mean, this guy could really get into the meat of any topic, whether it was religion or politics or other entertainers. I mean, he had ongoing feuds with Sam Kinison, Dennis Leary, Jay Leno. I mean, this guy, he wasn't your typical comic. This boy was on the dark side, and if you like a good dark comic, a comic that really digs into something, and is willing to say the things that you may think that you don't say out loud or would like to, find some Bill Hicks out there. Okay, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. So yeah, I mean, some of you probably know this. Others of you may not. Easter, while it is, like I said, Christian based, and these are the basic tenets of Easter here, all of it right here. This one page that I just read, that is Easter in a nutshell, okay? As for the whole Easter bunny, eggs, and shit like that, that, again, is based on pagan holidays that the Christians decided to co-opt and integrate into their holiday to make their holiday, which is boring, more fun with other people's holidays that were going on. The whole thing with eggs and bunnies and chicks, that's all about fertility. This is all done as a fertility dogma, tenets that they used to celebrate being able to have children, be able to fuck and give birth. And so, and I actually think it's based on a goddess, to be honest with you here. So what the Christians did is said, hey, you know what? Let's do Easter right around the same time these guys are doing this shit. And before you know it, they're like hunting for rabbits and bunny eggs and then going to mass. Great idea. Let's do it. And that's where you get your modern versions of Easter, at least the secular version of it, I mean, like I said, read the Bible. No bunnies, no chocolate, no eggs, nothing in there about any of that shit. So, but that aside, I will. I won't say I'm going to celebrate Easter, but I am. Like I said, I'm coloring eggs. I'm going to boil eggs, going to color them, going to write funny things on them. I'm going to hide them around the building and all that good shit. And I got a basket. I got a chocolate bunny, chocolate eggs. I got Peeps, which I don't even fucking like Peeps. But I got the peeps because that's part of the fun, you know? And the funny part is that I'm probably not going to eat like half the shit that's there, but you know what? I got it because it's fun. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to take some pictures. Like I said, I'm going to do a video. Not going to tell you what it is, but I am doing a video. Before we go into the break, let me remind you once again, about my buddy Justin Zachary, who is doing his play, Train Spotting, or the Elephant Theater, right here in Los Angeles on Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood. At the Elephant Theater there. Shows are Friday and Saturday, 8 o'clock, $20 tickets. Sundays, you get a break. You do, okay? It's $15 for the 7 o'clock show, so go check that out. Then, of course, there's my sister Jessica's business, Diaper Cakes by Jessica. If you're looking to, wow them at a baby shower for a new or expectant mother, okay, Diaper Cakes by Jessica. I'm telling you, it's not what it sounds like. Check it out. You can check her out on my Facebook page. You can check her out on the Inappropriate Conversation Facebook page or on Instagram. All right, so check, or Jessica or Diaper Cakes by Jessica, also on Facebook. So check those out. And if you go through Instagram, I believe she's offering a 15% discount. And give her a call. Check with her and mention that you heard it from me. Maybe she'll give you a better discount or charge you more. Who knows? And don't forget, in about a week and a half, I have my first guest set up. My good friends Gucci Gucci Boom and Red Fox, also known as Amanda and Jessica, who are going to be here for which may be either the first or second new segment of the show, which I'll be doing on Wednesdays. I'm going to be calling it Hump Day, where I'll be having intelligent, business-minded, career-minded women who try to make it in the world that we're living in here, who are also interesting and funny, and you also would want to have sex with them. Thus, Hump Day. Okay, I'm not going to bring in a bunch of really funny, interesting, fat, ugly bitches. That's not what I'm interested. Okay, I'm sorry, it's just not what I'm into. Okay, I'm calling it Hump Day for a reason. But then again, I've banged my share of fatties. As Richard Pryor said, the worst pussy can ever be is good. And on that little note, I am going to take another break. Today's music is brought to you by Bosco and Peck. And our first song today was called Ain't It Strange. Here's their second song. It's called Cold. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back.
I don't want to breathe no more. I don't want to live. I don't want to cry no more. I have no more tears to get. The way you made me feel, I know I'll never feel again. And to know I'll never hear your voice is tragic, I know. I can't feel a thing, but I know this world is wrong and it isn't. To walk out alone, I feel so alone, and I get so without your touch, I need it so, and I just can't. Know that you're wrong, I can't believe you're wrong. Yeah, it's so unfair. Can't grieve, I'm bored of feeling that's the way I choose to live. A loss with no good reason, and that's what I can't forget. The way you made me feel, I know I'll never feel again. And to know I'll never hear your voice is tragic, I'm numb. I can't feel a thing, but I know this world is wrong and it isn't.
All right, welcome back once again. Joe the Shirt's off the cuff. I'm liking the music I picked the last couple of days, actually. Bosco and Peck, their song Cold. I'm digging it. It's got a nice little funk to it, a little rhythm to it. I could have sex to that. I really could. Okay, we are going to be talking about Jon Hamm in just a little bit. But before we do, it's celebrity birthday time. That's right, it really is. Okay, celebrity birthdays from March 29th. Lucy Lawless is 45 years old, and by the way, still looking fucking good. That big bitch, gotta love her. If you'd seen her last 2 years, 3 years or 4 years actually, on Spartacus, she did quite a few nude scenes there, and let me tell you, those puppies are holding up very nicely. Elle Macpherson still looking hot at 48. Jessica Chastain is 31. Justin Tuck is 30, Super Bowl champ. Cy Young shares a birthday today, so as does Eric Idle, who is 69 years old, who shares a birthday with Pearl Bailey. We also have, great Walt Frazier is 67. Brendan Gleeson is 57. You're wondering, who the fuck is Brendan Gleeson? Well, if you watch Harry Potter movies, you know him as Mad Eye Moody. Christopher Lambert, the Highlander, is 55 years old. And Marina Sirtis is still looking good at 57 years old. If you don't remember who she is, she was Deanna Troi from Star Trek TNG. Looking good. Oh yeah, when I was growing up watching that show, I definitely was stroking the puppy on that one. Oh yeah, absolutely. Marina Sirtis, especially in the early episodes when they actually let her wear a dress. Later on, they put her in the tights like everybody else. And I'm just like, I like the dress. That whole putting your hand up there. Anyway, but we're not here to talk about that today. We're here to talk about cock. Lots of it, apparently. Jon Hamm is in the news. You may know Jon Hamm from the hit TV show Mad Men. Now, I've never watched the show. Actually, that's not true. I've tried watching the show a few times. I just really can't get into it. I'm not really interested in anybody or anything that's going on in the show. But I know a lot of people that do love it. I know my girlfriend loves it, and a bunch of my friends love it, and they can't talk enough about it. And you would think it would be a show that I'd be into, but no, not really. But I hear it's really good. So anyway, Jon Hamm is the big star on that show, and he's been in the news a lot lately, not just for his great acting ability, not just for the fact that he's a good-looking man, not just because he actually has very, very good comic timing. I've seen him do other things. He's actually pretty funny. Apparently, he's been having some trouble on the set of the show because apparently Jon likes to go commando. He does not like to wear underwear. He likes to freeball it, and apparently Jon's packing quite a bit. Packing so much, in fact, that the paparazzi have been hunting him all over the country just to make sure they can get a picture of his pants, basically. Make sure they get a picture of his cock and balls outline in his pants, wherever he goes. And because he doesn't wear underwear, I mean, it shows pretty well. And I got to tell you, I'm going to be posting some pictures, and you guys can tell me, this guy's packing, all right? He really is. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you, Johnny boy. Johnny Tripod, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Tripod. It really is quite something. I've seen the pictures, and I'm going to be posting them, and I'm just like, good God. He's packing so much, in fact, and on the show that's now set in the 1960s, where people were wearing very, very thin material that was tight-fitting, and he's still not wearing underwear. Apparently it's become quite the distraction to the point where the producers have politely insisted that he start wearing underwear when they're shooting the show. And I'm just like... in response to this, Mr. Hamm has said that he wishes people would stop talking about his private parts. They're called private parts for a reason. That's a quote, by the way. And would really just let him concentrate on his job of acting. Wish people just let focus on that instead of the baby's arm that's growing out of his crotch. And like I said, you got to see these pictures. It's hysterical. I don't know, John. I'm not going to give you any sympathy here. I'm really not. Jon Hamm wants people to stop talking about his dick. I'd like if people would start talking about my dick just once. Start talking about my dick, please. Talk about living on two different worlds, And we're both 42 years old. He's tall, good-looking, well-built, got a great head of hair, and a big dick, and a much better career than I do. I am like the anti-Ham. I'm the anti-Jon Hamm. Okay, I'm like John Gherkin. That's who I am. He's Jon Hamm. I'm John Gherkin. Joe Gherkin. So I'm not gonna give him too much. Oh my God, I feel so bad for you. Everybody keeps talking about how huge your cock is. Oh, I mean, does this guy get sympathy from anybody? I mean, does he deserve any? I'm not giving him any sympathy. Oh my God. Penis size being always at the forefront of every man on the planet, especially American men. We tend to think about it a lot, and since we think about it a lot, you know what? I brought out some stats, some actually recent stats. Nice people at Johnson & Johnson, a few other studies. They came together and have established that the average human being's penis, when fully erect, is 5 1/4 inches long. Yeah, you heard me right. 5 1/4. Not 6, like everybody likes to think it is. It's 5 1/4. To be exact, they say it's somewhere between 5.1 and 5.9, but 5 1/4 is what Johnson & Johnson came up with. That's really it. You know, if you're finding a lot of cock out there that's much bigger than that or much smaller than that, that's a rarity, actually. But that is normal. And there are a lot of things to say about this. According to the studies, there's no significant correlation between a person's physical stature and penis size. This is accurate within 95% of all men. And I've seen the pictures. I've seen the pictures of, you know, the 6'6" monsters of human beings, you know, these massive, gigantic dudes that have, you know, like, you know, the 4-inch killers. And then I've seen pictures of pygmies in South America who look like, you know, they're giving birth to themselves. You know, this thing just like knocking around their knees here, you know. And your stature, your height's got nothing to do with it. Your size of your hands, your feet, your nose, your ears. None of that's got anything to do with it. No correlation whatsoever. I said not a significant correlation to a human being's size. I mean, yes, they did find that, yes, on average, a bigger men tend to have bigger penises, but not by much. We're talking about like quarters, halves of an inch on average, okay? Let's see. There's also medical references here. An adult male penis that is less than 3 inches long is officially referred to in medicine now as a micropenis. I think they could have come up with something better than that, don't you? Oh yes, well, Mr. Joe here. I see that you suffer from micropenis. I'm like, suffer from micropenis? A case of micropenis? Nobody wants to hear that. You know, it's not small. It's fun size. Average measurement for girth for the average male is somewhere between 3.5 and 4 inches around. Now, this is what I thought was really funny. According to a self-reported Kinsey study, homosexual men report having a significantly larger penises than their straight counterparts. Okay, so basically what they did is they asked a bunch of straight guys, how long is your dick? And they asked a bunch of gay guys, how long is your dick? And on average, the gay guys were about a half inch bigger, according to their report, their personal report. Now, I've done my own reporting on this one because I live in West Hollywood. I've had a lot of gay friends, and I've yet to meet the gay guy in town that has a dick that's anything smaller than 8.5 inches. It just doesn't happen. You know, I'm talking about black, white, Asian, Latino. I know this one guy. His name is Josh. He's a Twinkie. He's a total bottom of human being, you know, very nice guy, really skinny, very effeminate, wears makeup. And I asked him, I was like, Josh, between you and me, he was like, you have a big dick? And he's like, oh yeah, I hate it. It's like, really? He's like, I'm like, what are you packing there? And he's like, 8.5 inches. I'm like, really? Wow. And I talked to another friend of mine, my buddy Timothy, and he's like, yeah. It's like really big. I hate it. I can't stand it. It just gets in the way. I'm like, fuck you, asshole. And he's like, yeah, it's like 9.5, 10 inches. I'm like, God damn. Of course, this, like I said, this is self-reporting, you know, and we do know that gay men tend to be more size queens than even women are. So I was just like, wow. What else did we find out here? According to women that were asked when it came to penis size, vast majority of the women didn't really care how long it was, because let's face facts, for the penis to hit the spot, the old famous G spot there, it doesn't really need to get in all that deep. Really about 3.5, 4 inches is as far as it really needs to go. Most women reported that length wasn't as big of a deal as overall thickness was. They'd rather have a thick dick than a long dick. Basically a big old mushroom cap will work. Now I remember being in college when they asked, they got a bunch of us together and did, a survey of guys and girls, and it was a group of us, group of guys, group of girls, and they asked the girls, there was about 30 girls, they asked them, what's more important to you, a really big dick or a talented tongue? And 29 girls said a really talented tongue. And then the smallest, tiniest Korean girl you ever saw in your life holds her hands out at like shoulder width and says, I like a really big cock. Really big cock. I like a big cock. I was like, oh, thank you. So glee. But, it depends. Of course, none of this compares at all to, of course, the one and only John Falcon, who allegedly, at this point, holds the record for the world's biggest dick. And when I say the world's biggest dick, we're talking 9.5 inches soft. Right, 9.5 inches soft. Any bigger, you could jump rope with it. But it's a shower, not a grower, because it only gets 5 inches bigger. No, excuse me, 4 inches. It only gets 4 inches bigger. Fully erect, it goes up to 13.5 inches. Officially considered the world's biggest dick. You want to know what 13.5 inches is? You want to know what 9.5 inches flaccid is? We're talking about, he said that he's uncircumcised. He says he can engulf an entire doorknob with just his foreskin. That's how big it is, okay? You want to know how big it is? He's been stopped by the TSA at airports, security checks, because they suspected him of carrying a weapon, like a gun, or even a bomb in his pants. That's how big the bulge was. That's how big the body scan showed there was something in his pants. And he had to be taken aside, and he had to prove to them, it's no, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a gun or a bomb, it's just my dick. I'm like, wow. Now that's a big dick right there, okay? I don't care. Unless you can beat that, I don't care what you're sporting, all right? I just don't care, all right? Me, I've decided from now on, I'm going metric. From now on, yeah. From now on, I am no longer going to tell people that I'm 6.5 inches long. From now on, I'm just going to be, hey, baby, I got 17 centimeters. And on that lovely note, we are going to take another break. Please stay tuned. I am Joe the Shirt. I am off the cuff. And here again is Bosco and Peck with Lie to Me.
Riding so I might find a place to vent for some peace of mind. There is something that I've got to say. I've held the race for so long. The grip I had was too strong. Now I feel it slipping away. There is something that I must know. If you're leaving, well, don't you just go. Wouldn't be so bad, no, it won't be so bad for you lie to me. I know you would if it would help you to sleep a little easier at night, but would you lie to me? I know you would
And welcome back once again. Joe the Shirts, off the cuff. All right, we're back. Hope everybody's getting ready for a nice long weekend. Not really a long weekend. It's not really an official government holiday, but well, for some of you maybe, because it is Good Friday. I know a lot of people do take Good Friday off, and attend mass, church, whatever the fuck it is you people do. Good for you. Enjoy that. Like I said, watch out for the DUIs out there. Okay, now for those of you who live in California, actually more specifically here in Los Angeles, a little excitement going on. A couple of bomb scares on the 24th and 25th of March, just this week. One in Santa Monica, one over by the Beverly Center, which is only not even a mile from where I live. Apparently, 2 duffel bags with what appeared to be pipe bombs were found in the buses. The duffel bags were found, taken to the bus driver. The bus driver immediately pulled over and evacuated the bus, called the bomb squads in both cases. In both cases, turns out the bombs were duds. Why? Because a couple of days before that, the Big Blue bus line had been running drills to see, to train bus employees what to do in the event that a device was found on the bus. This was done on 4 different buses. 2 of the buses, of course, had the mock bombs removed, but 2 of them were overlooked, and that's when the passengers found, and we had ourselves the bomb threat. Go fig. And then also on Monday, the 25th, a man went to the Grove here in West Hollywood, which again is only about a mile and a half or so from where I live. Grove, very popular outdoor mall here. Went up to the 6th floor of the parking structure and jumped, killing himself. The man was 50 years old. He apparently had been recently diagnosed with a life-threatening illness. Decided it wasn't worth it to try to fix it, and decided to go splat. Another California news. It's really funny to me because so much of the time, people in California always talk, bitching and moaning about illegal immigrants this, illegal immigrants that, yada, 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 yada. But now, in a recent poll, only 19% of voters surveyed think that illegal immigrants should be required to leave. Now you think about it, only 19% of voters think that, get rid of all these illegals. No, they don't want them to go anymore. What would prefer would be if they, became, legal, naturalized citizens, got their green cards, and were able to be here legally, because nobody wants to have to rake and water their own lawns or skim their own pools or clean their own houses. All right, let's not act like all these people are saying that they want to keep the illegals here because they're so sympathetic to them. They just don't want to clean their own fucking toilets. All right. I'm not sure if I remember to mention this yesterday, but the Secret Service has a new leader. That is one Julia Pearson, who has worked for the agency for over 30 years and will now oversee its more than 150 offices. This will be the first woman to be heading up the job as the head of the Secret Service. One of the reasons that she's being brought in, 53 years old, veteran of Miami's and Orlando, Florida agencies, is because of she'll be taking over from Mark Sullivan, who last month announced his retirement. Sullivan's term was marred by the aftermath of a night of partying in Cartagena, Colombia, where agents were preparing for Obama's visit. You guys probably remember this from the news. Several employees brought women in, some allegedly prostitutes, back to the hotel. The matter became public after dispute between one of the agency employees and a woman said to be a prostitute. Apparently, they were arguing over price. Now, guys, I like to get a good deal as much as the next guy, all right? But when you're in the Secret Service and you're on the job and you're bringing hookers to the hotel, they ask you for $250, you give them $250. And so Mark Sullivan's out. Julia Pearson is in. This comes after some criticisms of the president for not appointing women to, higher staff agencies and whatnots. But they failed to mention that he had appointed a number of female appointees, including Sally Jewell to the head of the Interior Department, Gina McCarthy to the Environmental Protection Agency, and Mary Jo White to chair the Securities and Exchange Commission, and Sylvia Matthews Burrell to be director of the Office of Management and Budget. And Pearson, the new head of the Secret Service, will be answering to no other than another woman, Janet Napolitano, who is staying on in her position as Secretary of Homeland Security. So, you know what? I think we can let Obama slide on this whole, he's not giving women a fair shake in his administration, okay? I just rattled off, 6, 7 different names. Give the man a break. It seems to me that the only people that Obama is not giving a job to is other black people, all right? He's giving jobs to women, men, whites, Latinos. The guy that played Kumar on Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle had a job with Barack Obama, okay? So don't tell me that he's not hiring minorities. Have you ever gotten the feeling, you parents out there, that your child is a selfish little shit? Of course you have. Every parent has. Good news for you guys. This is normal. You may have noticed a lot of times that your kid will be playing with toys with other children and will, out of nowhere, just grab a toy and go off in a corner and play by himself and not want to share the toy with other people, with the other children. And you know that you've been encouraging your kid to share because that's what's nice, that's what's polite, that's the social thing to do. But he's being a little shit and he's keeping it to himself. Well, you know what? It turns out that is perfectly normal. Let's see. According to this here, let's see. It says here that it's just that at the ages of 3 and 4, a typical toddler hasn't yet developed the moral decision-making skills that align his behavior to what he knows is right. Okay? He knows he's supposed to share, but there's still a part of him that says, fuck it, I want to keep it for myself. That's normal. They found that in children who are between 5 and 6 years old, that the moral compass is still a work in progress, but according to the study, by ages 7 or 8, even the most covetous child, also known as greedy, will probably have learned to weigh the terms, I should do the right thing more heavily than I really, really, really don't want to share. The researchers found that 3 and 4-year-olds are aware that sharing their their toys is the right thing to do, but optimistically believe that kids believe that others their age will do so generously. So basically, they think They know what they should do is the right thing. They think other kids will do the right thing, but then they end up not doing the right thing. When asked to hand over their toys from a windfall of toys, many refused, and most of those who did offered up only one. But among the 7 and 8-year-olds, nearly all split their toys evenly, and between the 5 and 6-year-olds, that fell somewhere in between. So you know what? If you find that your kid is being a little shit, and he's 2, 3, 4 years old, don't worry about it. When that little kid gets to be 9 and 10 and he's still being a little shit, then it's time for some counseling. All right. A couple of quickies here before I get out of here today. I know this normally wouldn't be a quickie, but I don't want to give this too much attention today because I've talked about it so much. You guys may remember Jared Loughner. He's the nutcase, I think it was back in 2011, that went nuts in Tucson and shot and killed 6 people, wounded another 13, including Representative Gabrielle Giffords, Democrat. Shot her in the head, and for a while she was a little... Anyway, turns out, you know what? Long before that happened, people had noticed that he was a little off. According to this, by the time he shot and killed all those people, his parents had already taken away his shotgun, tested him for drugs, and forbade him from using the family vehicle after dusk. Months earlier, officials at his community college had refused to allow him to return to campus until he passed a mental evaluation. Hours before he went on the shooting rampage, a Walmart clerk had declined to sell him ammunition, even though they did have it. His mother, Amy, says that her son had been acting strangely for about a year, often talking or laughing to himself, and was angry with the government, though he did not say why. Really, if you want to look at the face of Nutty, Look up Jared Loughner. Okay, that's Jared. It's Jared Loughner, Lougners. He's pleaded guilty and is getting life without parole. And then, of course, there's that guy, Holmes from Colorado. He's pleaded guilty, but the judge will not accept this plea because they want to keep exploring it a little further. I'll get into that next time I talk about it. I don't want to get too crazy with it now. Let's see. Entertainment news a little bit here. Doctor Who is 50. 50 years of Doctor Who, guys. The show has been on since the 1960s, 1963, okay? And in that time, there have been a good 11 Doctor Who's. Let's see, what do we got here? William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, that's the one that I watched. He was in 1974 through 81. Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, and the newest Doctor Who, Matt Smith. Good for them, man. Doctor Who, man. Good show, but I couldn't keep up with all of it. I mean, really, how high do you have to be to really watch Doctor Who? But you either have to be really, really high or 8, in my opinion. That's when the time I was watching it. And finally, ending the show with a little legalese for you guys. The Supreme Court has ruled that police dogs when using police dogs, must get a warrant before using the animals to search a suspect's property. According to the Supreme Court, you know what? You suspect that somebody has drugs in their house. You're not allowed to send your police dog into their yard, onto their personal property, let them stand in front of the door smelling the house, and then he gives you the signal that there's drugs in the house and you go on in there. No, you got to get a warrant first. I'm like, thank fucking God. You know, I'm sorry. I like to think that, you know, my home is private. You know, what happens in here is my business. Whatever drugs or sex or what have yous that I do in here, as long as I'm not hurting anybody, is my fucking business. And I don't like the idea that the police can just randomly walk by my house with a dog who gives them the signal. Which, by the way, the signal for dogs when they detect drugs in your house, they sit down. I'm like, how do you know the little fucker isn't tired? This new ruling does not apply to, say, if you're at an airport, or if you get stopped on the street, or if you get stopped in your car. You're out in public, and thus those rules do not apply. The new rules for your houses, for search and seizure in your house, is that the Supreme Court has ruled Tuesday that the police could not bring drug-sniffing police dogs onto a suspect's property to look for evidence without a search warrant. The decision could limit investigators' use of canines to ferret out drugs, explosives, and other items hidden from human sight, sound, and smell. Court was split 5-4. And that's pretty much it. I'm actually out of time. That's it for me today, guys. Thank you for listening in. Like I said, have a happy, healthy Easter. Try not to get stopped by the cops. And I'm going to give you one more song by Bosco and Peck. This here is Last Time by Bosco and Peck. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'm off the cuff.
Can't stand the person that I see staring back at me. I know it's just my reflection. It's reflecting all the pain I caused. You were crying and asking me,
how could you do this? How could you do this to me?
Well, time I told you, girl, I'm so weak I can't control myself.
How could you do
Let me explain before you walk out the door. Don't leave, 'cause this might be the last time we ever talk. I'm sorry that it came to this. I know I said this last time, but she had something I could not resist. Don't let this be the last time, 'cause without you I can't exist.
I don't believe you can.
Don't let this be the last time.